Good morning, good morning, and good morning.
But of course, a good morning can really start only after some spray cans mixing, in order to get the perfect color for some overlapping shadows.
Good morning. And so good morning and welcome at the usual legal spot. Later in this video I will explain to you why I am often painting here during this new wonderful 2023. But now please subscribe to the channel, leave a like if you trust me, myself and I, Mr. Vent. For you is for free, for me is so important. Whatever, me, myself and I, because as you can see today I am alone at the spot. Kira is probably sleeping, Ares is probably fucking, and I am gonna paint the real deal! And by the way, this is the first episode of Go Cheap or Go Home, we are back on track baby, in this 2023, so again, leave a like and subscribe. But it's time to paint, also because it's very late, it's 1:40 p.m. So, today I'm gonna go over Mr. Coso over here, and I already know that in the comments someone will say, why are you covering fresh pieces? So we basically paint always going from left to right, like when you write on a piece of paper, in order to have always the freshest piece painted on the wall on our left. A lot of people talk, but they don't know shit about how walls work in foreign city. Enough. It's time to put the sketch on the wall.
As first thing today I signed the top and the bottom of the piece, because I have a loop on the top and I don't want it to get off the wall.
Alright, sketch done. Fuck, I forgot to sketch the background. Okay, done. You probably are not seeing the sketch correctly right now, because I know that when you see a piece that's a crossover like this one, the sketch is not clear at all, because you have to be familiar with those letters to understand. And so let me clarify the situation to you. And to make it more clear to you, of course I will use some bucket paint. By the way, my fake Montana Cans bucket is back. Grey bucket paint. Yeah, it's a little bit bluish, but is still between grey and blue, which is actually pretty cool, to be honest. And so this grey is the first of the 3 buckets full of paint of today.
Making a coat of paint on a wall is as hard as satisfying to see it in a time-lapse, and this very nice grey made it less tiring even in real life.
It's already way better. By the way, I have to do this concept with a piece from me, of course. Sketching all over, then make the background with the roller paint, and then only outline with the fill-in that is the previous piece. Would be interesting. The next step will be the background, which is gonna be a bucket paint as well. Incredibly. Super cheap today. I mean, every day is super cheap, but today it's cheap and heavy, if you ask me. So, I don't really know what color it is. It's like a really beigey gray, or maybe a really whitey beige. I don't know. Anyway, it's gonna be the background. I can add a little bit of water. Well, on the wall it's a lot more white than I expected, but I think that I will settle for it. Also because I don't have many much possibilities at the moment.
But in the end, this color problem isn't a big deal. It isn't even a real problem, to be honest. The real problem is that Vent from the past did not think that being clean using bucket paint on bucket paint, so without spray paint to clean up the edges, might be a problem.
The edges of the arrow cannot be precise, basically. And this is a fucking problem. I feel so stupid because it's definitely obvious, but I didn't think about it. I tried to make the outline with the color that is supposed to be the shadow, but I don't know, I want the overlapping shadows of the letters. Let me think. Well, I checked my cans, I checked everything, and I will try to cut a little bit the arrow with this gray using a tiny roller. The bad quality ones that you can remember from the previous videos, but hopefully they're gonna work, otherwise I'll take it. Fuck. So let's erase this. It seems that it works actually better than I expected, I have to say it. Cool, I solved it. I was actually pretty lucky. If I didn't have this tiny roller with me, it would have been impossible to solve it. I have to be honest, guys, I'm very happy that this worked out. It's time for the fill-in, which is the special guest, I mean the bucket, yes, the bucket is the special guest of today. This wonderful big boy that I found in a trash bin. You don't deserve these bad people that put you in the trash bin. You are mine now. You are gonna be part of wonderful graffiti pieces. Hopefully. What the hell? Yo! How fucking green is this bucket? Of course, it's not like in the video. In the video it seems to be fluo radioactive trash. It isn't that green. This is fucking porn. I really don't know if you understand the scale of it. It's a green, wonderful, found in the trash, that's covering pretty well for being that green, and also I'm painting crossover. If I was painting directly on the grey, for example, this would have been even better. I might look stupid to someone, I know it, especially to someone that's not into graffiti and into this bucket paint shit, but, well, I'm happy. There's a massive amount of dopamine that is doing stuff in my body, probably.
Murder is only killing without a license. And everybody kills.
You know, if I wanted to kill somebody, I'd kick this book and beat you to death with it, and I wouldn't feel a thing.
Yo, it's basically time for the outline. At the end I've done 2 layers of bucket paint, but the second one really light, so again, this bucket paint is incredible. Now, it's time for the outline, but I'm not sure if I'm gonna finish this piece today, because I have a lot of stuff to do and I don't know if I have the time. And while I wait a call, basically, to understand it, panini break. Panini, 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 panini.
Well, at the end I'm gonna finish it in one day. I also said it in live, but this was what my mic recorded. However, before the outline, Vent from the Past got something to tell.
I want to answer to the question which is the title of this video, probably. Why I am painting at the same spot over and over? Well, because I want to focus on the pieces, on my letters, and this is the most comfortable spot I can reach with a car or even with public transportation. And also the wall is perfect, it's smooth, it doesn't fall apart, and since it's also comfortable, well, you will see me painting more on this wall. Now, outline. Enough talking, Mr. Vent.
I was not satisfied with the E, so I decided to redo its outline, and well, I know that it might look easy and smooth in the video, but doing cutbacks with the roller is one of the most annoying things in graffiti, in my opinion.
Well, I'm not 100% satisfied about this outline, and since there's still a little bit more daylight, I'll also do the drop shadow.
By the way, also drop shadows are very annoying to do. If the shape of the drop shadow is not exactly like the normal shadow, it is super noticeable. And also making them in the right color, especially when working with bucket paint, is pretty hard. Indeed, I made this color mistake with the drop shadows on the arrows. The first version was perfectly tone on tone, but the color was too bright. So I decided to make it not that tone on tone, sadly, but with a grey which is more visible. Things doesn't have to be correct, they have to look correct. This golden rule from Smoi works basically every time about graffiti.
Well, at the end, as you have seen, I finished today. To be honest, I like the piece, but it could have been way better. But it is what it is, and it isn't that bad. Anyway, a drop cap style piece by me with a struggling end looks like this.
But as always, let's analyze it. Today I am back to a drop cap style. The V is the only complex letter and it's also the biggest, that's why drop cap. The other letters are smaller, like they were in a low case. In my opinion, today's piece is very dynamic, thanks to the V, which is very extended towards up on the left and towards the right, thanks to the arrow. Also, it has two more movements, this slanted stick and the left flattened arrow, which seems nothing, but it balances the piece. The new element that I tried today, this loop connected with the halo, is nice in my opinion, but I have to work on it. I had several problems doing it, also because I am not comfortable at painting stepping on things, but the loop itself is okay. The halo, sadly, is not. It's too small and its shadow is way too big. However, in terms of composition, it works. The letters themselves are very nice. I already talked quite a lot about the V, and I am satisfied also about the roundish shapes of the N and the T. Sadly, I can't say the same about the E. Leaving out that's so dirty, the shape itself is too static and the balancing is too straight, not like the N and the T that get a little movement. The palette of the color scheme is great in my opinion. At the end, everything works out very well. My only regret are the grey drop shadows that maybe both are a bit too dark and imprecise. However, talking about costs, all this was very cheap because primer color, fill-in and background are made with bucket paint found in the trash. So, for free. About the cans, I will consider the whole cost about the new cans, even if I used a tiny bit of paint, and these to be as correct as possible. So, I made the first lines with leftovers, so again, for free. The outline can costed me 3.80 euros. The can that I used for the highlights costed me 3.70 euros. Here I used a tiny amount of it, but it was brand new. The overlapping shadows of the letters are made with an homemade color, but to do it I used half of a new can, so I will consider the whole cost of it. 3.80 euros. Both grey colors for the drop shadows are homemade colors, made by mixing leftovers or half cans, so I will consider them as they are for free. I just took the most from my storage basically. And so for this nice piece I spent 11.30 euros, which is not my best to be honest, but prices have risen everywhere, so it is not that bad at the end. And so guys, if you liked this video and this piece, leave a like and subscribe to the channel and turn on the bell if you don't want to lose any content from Mr. Vent. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram if you want to see extra content and the photos of my pieces, also the ones that I don't record a video about, and see you next time. Hopefully in a week, but I don't know. I'll try my best anyways. Thanks for the constant support, dear writers. This is not obvious and I really appreciate it. I read you down in the comments.